Hello everybody, my name is Orlando. If this is your first time in the channel, please make sure to subscribe. Today I'm going to show you, it's a short video. I'm not going to go over the whole process on how to set up the screens and expose the screen. I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration of one color on a white t-shirt. This is for a customer that ordered 25 t-shirts, and I just wanted to show you, I had two videos already on the Hopkins 250 4-color one station press, and I promised a video with one of the jobs that I was going to print. So I had done several already, one color, two, three, or four colors on the press. Everything works perfect. So only a few things that I wanted to mention with the press, especially if you are a beginning like me on screen printing, is not for one color but for multiple colors, just to make sure to have a kind of like a registration system on your screen, where you have, like in my case, I have a 16 by 16 palette, and I divide the screen in half. So right in the center of the screen, which is the 8 inches, I will draw a line. I use a T-square ruler, so I draw right in the middle of your palette. You will do that. Then I have a second line from the top of the palette down. I have a 3 inches, I believe. Let me double check. And let me also bring the camera here so you can see what I'm referring to. Alright, I hope you can see that, but there's a line right here in the center, and that's exactly 8 inches since the palette is 16 by 16. Then I have another line right here from the top of the palette. That's 3 inches down, so this is 3 inches, and then an extra inch below that one. Sometimes I use the 3 inches, sometimes I use the 4 from this side to here. It depends on the setup on the screen. And then I have, if I want to do the left or right chest pocket side, then I have another line here which is 4 inches from the center of the line. So 4 inches to the left or 4 inches to the right if you want to do the other side of the pocket t-shirt. Other than that, that's my simple registration on the screen. Not registration, but labeling on the screen. Each person have a different way. I have seen more lines here or more lines here. It depends on your setup, but that's basically what you need to keep in mind when you're doing this type of registration. So let me set up the camera back to the original position. All right, so the next thing that I would like to show, and that's something that you need to keep in mind, is that since it's only one color, just make sure that the registration on your screen, I have a registration on the top and the bottom, right in the center of the artwork, matches the center line on your palette. And the other thing is, make sure the off contact, which is screen, is the gap between the mesh on the screen and the palette. Make sure you set that as well. So if you have a press like mine, I will record another video where I show you how to do that. But there's basically 2 screws here where you can loose, and the whole screen you will be able to raise it or lower it depending on your configuration. I use quarters, so I just put a quarter on the corner, and then lower the screen, make adjustments, and then tighten again. And once you have your off contact set up and center line of your screen with the palette also set up, then you're ready to start printing. And that's basically what I'm going to do right now. One more thing is this particular press, the 250, has an option to tilt the screen. So and then this, I'm still new with this, so I cannot. So if my whole screen off contact is 1/8 of an inch, then I have to have at least twice that thickness on the front. And this allows the screen, so when you're pressing on the screen with the squeegee, it allows the screen to retreat back a little higher, so it won't stick to the fabric. So you can watch more videos on that and how that works, but that's something that you need to keep in mind as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the t-shirt. I'm using a golden heavy cotton t-shirt. This is going to be a print test because I got a new, well, it's not a new, it's a used conveyor dryer machine. It's that one right there. It's about 25 years old. It's a hardcore graphic product. I got it from a person that was in Oklahoma, live in Oklahoma. I wasn't using it. It was not using the machine, so I went there to pick it up. It's still working. I tested it, and it reaches about 190 Celsius, which is 300 and something Fahrenheit, 370, 380. And then it also has speed control for the belt. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. I don't have a particular way of doing this. I just make sure that if you're using one of these t-shirts, but I can see on this they usually have a line in the center. If it doesn't come with it, you don't see it, you can always use an iron and kind of make sure that that's in the center, so that way your artwork is centered. And I usually have the print on the front of the t-shirt to be about 3 to 4 3 inches, 4 inches from the top part of the t-shirt. So let me double check and make sure that when I lower this, I think I can put it a little bit towards the top. That's perfect right there. Just make sure you have enough adhesive on the palette, so when you press the screen and the ink goes on the t-shirt, when you pull it back, it won't move, and then you ruin your print. So I think I got this from Amazon. It's palette adhesive. So I use some glove, I put a little bit, spread it out evenly, and I use the heat gun just to quickly dry that. All right, that's perfect. So I'm gonna do the first press. Once I finish with this, I'm gonna use the heat gun just to quick dry. I'm gonna probably go 2 or 3 passes, depending on how dark it is. And using a lava from Ryonet. This is a black plastisol ink. So I'm just gonna make sure the whole screen gets covered. I think this ink needs a little, needs to be diluted. It's kind of thick. I like to pull towards me. I don't push the squeegee. It's preferences. It's your preference how you want to do this. All right. Let's see how that one went. As you can see, it's still it's gonna need a couple of passes. But before I dry it, let me just go ahead and do it one more time. Sorry guys, I'm still new in this process. All right, that looks a little better. So I'm just gonna quickly apply some heat and then do another pass. So I was gonna use the conveyor dryer simultaneously to show you how that little machine works. It's a very, I think it's more like for, you know, on-demand prints if you want to use something like that in an event. But something is wrong with my breaker box. Even though I'm using different outlets, every time I'm trying to use the heat gun and the dryer at the same time, it's pulling too much amp, so it's just turning off the power. Like I said, this is just gonna be a quickly flashing this. I have a flash dryer too, but I'm having the same issue with the breaker box, so I had to have a electrician come and check on that. Alright, that should be enough. Let's go ahead with a second pass. Just make sure you apply even pressure when you're going and doing this. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it again. Alright, that looks good. Let me just show you. Right there. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. It looks pretty good. So basically I will repeat the same process for the back of the t-shirt. This is going to be the design that is going on the back. I'm not sure if you can see it. Also one color is going to be black color, but I will have to run this through the, well, I don't have to, but I will do it. I will run it on the conveyor dryer, and once I'm done, I'm going to do a wash test just to make sure that that is curing properly. You want to have, for plastisol, around 330 Fahrenheit, and then it depends on the conveyor driver, for at least a minute to make sure that it cures properly. This time and the temperature is also going to depend on how much ink you have. Also the temperature and the environment. Right now it's kind of cold here where I am. It's 55 degrees. All right, so that's everything I wanted to show you today. The part that I missed, I'm using a 500 watt halogen lamp for my exposure unit, which is this one right here. And then that right there is the cabinet. I think I showed in a previous video, but I haven't done a video yet on how I built it. It's a homemade cabinet. I use it to both dry the screens once I clean it, to keep my screens there so they're free of dust and you know, particles and everything, and then also to cure the emulsion because it gets to about 110 Fahrenheit. And he also, one second, let me just set out the screen here. And he also controls the humidity. I have a dehumidifier inside the cabinet, and then relative humidity gets to about 15–16%. Temperature 100–110 depending on right now, because it's cold in the garage. It gets to about 100 during the summer, 110–115 sometimes. You don't want it to be too hot, so it's something that you have to keep an eye. But the temperature allows the drying process to be more efficient. So that's what I use for drying and curing the emulsion, drying the screen and curing the emulsion. And then, like I said, this is a new conveyor dryer new, because I didn't have, I was using a flash dryer and the heat gun to cure this, but now with this I will be able to move a little faster on the production. Hard coat, over 20 years old piece of equipment, and it still works. So that's the reason why I got it. I did a reconditioning, painted, replaced the conveyor belt, and then I replaced the power cable, put a thicker cable, made sure that all the electronics were saved, and everything else is working fine. I was able to test the temperature on the oven, inside the oven, and it reaches about 180 something Celsius, or 380 Fahrenheit or something like that. The belt, you can control the speed from one end to the other one. It takes about 55 seconds. That's kind of a short time, so and that's why I'm doing a wash test with this t-shirt. I'm gonna run it through that, and then probably one time do a wash test. If something washed out, I might need to do a second pass and maybe play with the temperature, but that's something that I will do today, and then find out what the timing is on that. Other than that, that's everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and also hit the bell button for notifications when I post more videos. I will be posting videos on a new embroidery machine that I got. Very excited about that. I also have other equipment set up in one of my bedrooms inside the house, sublimation printer, the embroidery machine, heat presses for heat transfer vinyl, some of the equipment that I will show you in several other videos. But it's important that you subscribe so I can bring in this content to you guys, and we continue learning together. Thank you very much for watching.